Hello, this is Mari Lane from the Vine Space Channel. As promised, I'm reading the Torah straight through. That means I'm reading everything. So if you have children or emotionally sensitive people or people with porn addictions, please do not watch this Bible study with them in the room. Also, another caveat, I normally talk with my hands. Because of the nature of the scripture we're going to be reading, I'm going to try my best from this point on not to talk with my hands. In this chapter in the Bible, talking with my hands, like I'm Italian, might get me in trouble. With that said, I'll give you a moment. Now, this is a Torah book. The Hebrew is on this side. The English translated directly from the Hebrew is on this side. I do not read Hebrew. The Torah is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. I am halfway through the Torah, and I'm halfway through Leviticus. So, that being said, I'm going to continue in chapter 15. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, and they no doubt blushed when the Lord said this to them, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man have issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean, and he shall be his uncleanliness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his tissue, or his flesh be stopped from issue. It is his uncleanliness. Every bed whereupon he layeth that hath the issue shall be unclean, and every vessel thereupon he sitteth shall be unclean. And any man that toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that sitteth on the vessel thereupon he may hath the issue sat, shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, to be unclean until the evening. And he that toucheth the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in the water, and be unclean until the evening. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, and shall this one wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And what saddle soever he hath bathed, the tissue rideth upon, be unclean. And whatsoever toucheth anything that may be under him shall be unclean until the evening. And he that beareth any of these things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean in the evening. That's just talking about him carrying the saddle or the chair or the vessel. And whosoever he that hath the issue toucheth, he have not rinsed his hands in water, shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And the earthen vessel that he hath the issue toucheth shall be broken. So the vessel they wash their hands in has to be broken. And every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And then he shall hath an issue, becometh clean of his issue. Then shall the number to himself 7 days for his uncleaning, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day shall take unto himself 2 turtle doves, 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then shall he bathe all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the evening. And any garment and any skin whereupon the seed of copulation may be, shall he wash with water, and be unclean until the evening. I'm going to stop there because it starts with the women next. I don't want my hands up here because I might make motions with my hands that are not appropriate. First of all, we're talking about masturbation, and we're talking about regular sex relations, and we're also talking about gonorrhea and other health conditions of the penis. Now, sometimes hair or oil will get down in the penis and cause infection. The regular fluids from masturbation and from sex, you can wash yourself. But if you have an ongoing issue, there has to be the 7 days of isolation. And I've often heard people complain that when women have their periods, now, usually a period lasts longer than somebody masturbating or have sex. But sexually transmitted disease and other health conditions of the penis, like there can be a crust form around the head of the penis that causes this goop that's unclean. Anything like that going on. And that can last sometimes more than 7 days. Usually it doesn't. But, gonorrhea, chlamydia, the list goes on of things that could last longer than 7 days. So you definitely couldn't masturbate or have sex, just talking about, regular people and that are not currently having sexually transmitted diseases. On the Sabbath, you wanted to go to the tabernacle or the temple and participate in, sacrifices and ceremonies. Are now synagogue. So basically, Friday, you couldn't have sex, and Saturday, you couldn't have sex until all of that was over. And this goes for the women too. The rest of the chapter talks about women, and a lot of people think that the Bible is discriminatory towards women, but here we see that men that have problems that last, up to 7 days and longer, can be declared unclean. Women, when they have their menstrual cycle, are declared unclean. So that entire time they're having their menstrual cycle, they're not, these people are not isolated like the lepers are outside of the tribe, but they have to stay in their own space. They have to stay in their own tent. They're not supposed to try to be part of any ceremony or any gathering, and would be very isolating. And the period of time that women would have to be isolated once a month is 7 days. And then the 8th day, they would have to, make sure they bathe that day, wash their clothes, clean everything that they've sat on, maybe, and the men are the same way if they sit on something. So, or if they use a vessel to clean their hands like a clay pot, that clay pot has to be destroyed. So during this time that you're unclean, you have to be careful. You don't want to sit on grandma's chair during that time, because then that chair is unclean. So I don't know how they have furniture. And I know I've met young couples, not necessarily Jewish young couples, but I've met young couples that, when they first get married, they first fall in love, they would never be clean. I mean, there would just be constant washing and breaking and washing and breaking and the killing of doves and pigeons. I mean, there's some young men out there that would need to buy a pigeon farm before they got married. I'm just saying, how in the world? I mean, they would have to be predominantly celibate to be able to be part of their society. And they would, I don't know where the passages are right now, but the Bible kind of indicates, a preacher told me this when I was young, and I think it was an inappropriate conversation for him to have with me, but he told me that sex, now this was when I was a teenager, he was telling me this. I think I was like 13 years old in Christian school, and had this creepy teacher telling me that sex was only for procreation, that people shouldn't be having sex. We shouldn't be talking about sex with a 13-year-old girl. But anyway, he never did anything overt with me, but he liked to talk about things like this with me. Maybe that's so I can share the information with adults in the future, not with children. That's why I ask you all to have your children leave the room. But the thing is, the Bible isn't sexist towards women in this, because there are men that develop conditions that last 7 days or longer. Of course, women go through this every single solitary month. But when a couple has sex, the man also is unclean. Or if someone masturbates, man or woman, and there's, fluid on the sheets have to be washed. And that's pretty much true for modern times. I will say that there's wisdom in these passages for us now, even though we don't have to worry about being clean or unclean. We do need to clean ourselves after we have fluid or issue, whether we're a man or woman. The sheets should be clean. You should take a shower. You should change clothes. I always did so when I was younger, if I could at all. And it was, well, not going to go into a lot of that. But anyway, this preacher told me that sex was for procreation only. And I think if you had to go through this procedure every time, that any time that you could possibly have sex or satisfy yourself would be a special time. You would, if you went in and did this on a Sunday, then it would disrupt. You would have to like have sex and be ready to clean everything and break everything. And so you could go to work on Monday if you were on a Monday work schedule, a Monday through Friday. And, it's like it would take, a considerable amount of time out of your day before and after, because you would have to prepare. I did, well, no, I don't want to go into that either. It's just promised some weirdness uh, the closer we got to Halloween. And I think Leviticus 15 delivers that. It's not necessarily creepy, other than, sexually transmitted diseases are involved here. But anyway, you all have a nice Sunday night. And don't forget to be able get ready to do that laundry or put it away and change clothes after you shower. And that's good advice to keep your body clean. But, this is the extreme version. This is, cleaning up after sex on steroids. So, you all have a wonderful and blessed day.